Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Now entering the game for Philly Press Box Radio, Bill Furman and Jim Chet Chesko.
It's Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Welcome to the Philly Press Box Radio Roundtable, brought to you by the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA, Allstate Insurance in Westchester, PA, and the Edge of Philly Sports Network. I'm Bill Furman. I'll be your host tonight, along with my partner, Jim Chet Chesko. And hey, Chet, if there's been a slower week in Philly sports, this might be it. The Eagles season is over. The NBA is in the All-Star break. The Flyers are on a Western Canada swing, and Philly spring training games haven't started yet. Is it time to maybe catch a breath? Nah. There's still plenty to talk about in Philly sports.
You know what? I think we did need this little break. It's going to pick up again real soon, Bill, with the Sixers to start it up again and look to improve their playoff position. The Flyers coming back home. The Phillies playing some actual games, as you mentioned, this weekend. And, March Madness, although it may be one of those extremely rare years that no Philly teams make it to the big dance. Oh, well, I'm still worn out from the Super Bowl and, all that went ahead of that. And after that, they're still talking about it every day on the radio, particular plays and coaching decisions every single day. It's time to get past all that. So, we need this little break, and then we can start talking about Phillies and Sixers and whatever else.
Well, and it's funny you say that because it's on my list to talk about the little bit of that can't let go of the Eagles thing. We'll get to that a little bit later on. We said last week we were going to put that to bed, but we have fans that don't want to put it to bed. Interesting.
Oh, I know. It's over. You lost. The game is over. There were mistakes made, but now you move on from there. So, we'll talk about it.
Yes, we will. Hey, we have a great guest tonight joining us in Dei Lynam. She makes her return to Philly Press Box Radio. I don't even know how many times it's been. It's been a pile.
Number 20. She is the third member of the 20 Visit Club, joining Brandon Lee Gouton and Ray Didinger. So, Dee's always great to talk to. She gives us great insight about what's ahead for the Sixers over the final third of the season, 25 games, actually. And we actually have also a bit of an extended interview with our friend from the Irish Rover, Chris Gaskill, as that great bar and restaurant prepares to celebrate a couple of anniversaries this week.
Yeah, okay. We're looking forward to that. Hey, did you get a note that popped up on your screen about a Facebook problem maybe tonight? And
I saw that.
Robbie also made a note that she's having trouble with Facebook.
Yep, it says right there, we are having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook's end. So, boy, if somebody is possible, tell them to switch over to YouTube. Well, damn Facebook.
And then it just popped on and said you are live with a check mark. So maybe we're back in business. I don't know. Robbie, hang in there. If you message this, so you've got to be on here with us somewhere. But
so if you are watching on Facebook, let us know. Hi, everybody.
yeah, for sure. Well, hey, Chet, let's talk. So Philly's first full squad practice was yesterday. The first games are this Saturday. A little split squad game with the Yankees and the Tigers. You excited about spring training this year?
You know what? You'd think that maybe I would be, since they made it to the series last fall, but I'm not quite ready for it. Maybe because the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. We were so focused on that. The Sixers are playing well. We had the short off season for baseball. So I'm not quite in that baseball frame of mind just yet. I'm sure that's going to change, maybe by early March, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah. I've said this for years. I'm not the big spring training guy. As far as the details of spring training is for the guys to get their work. It's fun to go to. Fun to go to the games, and it's great. The weather's always great. 90 degrees today, by the way. Crazy, huh? They're having a blizzard.
70 here in Jersey tomorrow.
Yeah, and they're having a blizzard out in the Midwest, and it's 90 in Florida. Go figure that all out. But
it's going to be like 36 here on Saturday, so crazy.
Wow. But it's fun to go, and it's fun for people to come down and get to visit with a lot of people. But the games are meaningless. It's just guys getting work. And the unfortunate thing, and I know you're coming down for a while, I guess, over St. Patrick's weekend.
Yep.
Tickets are hard to come by for the Phillies.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, after that run last September, October into November, they're popular again. So they're going to have some sellouts down in Clearwater. They're going to have some sellouts at the ballpark. So,
Well, Robbie's on with Facebook, at least for now. So, Robbie, we appreciate that. And if anybody else, there you go. Robert Moser's on. So maybe it's fixed, and hopefully it stays fixed.
Yeah, they couldn't find us on Facebook earlier, but now they did. But some of these other folks say, "Oh yeah, there's Robbie before. Now she's on."
Yep. There you go. Jane's on. Joe, they're catching up. Whatever happened on Facebook must be resolved. Hey, for
everybody who just joined us on Facebook, you missed Bill and I singing our long-awaited duet, and we're not going to replay that for you. So sorry you missed it.
Absolutely.
Okay,
we got a comment. Are you mad? What's it say? Are you mad they lost the Super Bowl to the best team in the league?
Well, we got a Chiefs fan checking in, a rare Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Well, maybe we do, but I'm not really mad that they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm mad that the way they lost it to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what I'm mad about.
I mean, here's the deal. I think the Eagles had the better roster, and they lost by 3 points. And it was because of mistakes. You had the Hurts. Here we are. We're talking about the game again, just like they are on the radio. But they lost because of 3 or 4 crucial mistakes. So, yeah, I'm mad because they lost. But, I mean, Kansas City made fewer mistakes, and they deserve to win.
Yeah, and I would go further. If they're going to lose to somebody, I just assume them lose to Andy Reid. I'm okay with that. What I'm mad about is they had a 10-point halftime lead and couldn't close the deal. That's what I'm mad about.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's jump back over and talk Phillies for a minute. I wanted to ask you, Chet, the Andrew Painter. Andrew Painter looks like he's going to get all the looks in the world. Are you excited to see that 5th starter spot go to a young kid? And if Andrew Painter's ready, are you ready to bring him north as the 5-man?
I am, and I know they're going to watch his innings, so he won't be starting probably every 5th day, assuming he is the 5th starter. They'll give him some, occasional skipped starts, which is okay. I mean, they have a lot of days off in those first 2 months of the season anyway, so they want to limit his innings and make sure his arm, stays good. He's a 19-year-old kid, but you don't want to overwork him and get him in over his head. So, I'm excited. I mean, all the reports are that he's the real deal. He apparently looked good today, other than a home run that Schwarber hit off him in practice down there. But
he hit a lot off of a lot of people.
Yeah,
last
which is
year.
Also good to see. So yeah, I'm very excited about a young guy perhaps being in the starting rotation. That's awesome.
No, all right. And one final comment without going down the lineup. How excited are you to see that Trey Turner in the lineup every day at shortstop and probably in the leadoff spots? That really excites you?
It does. Yeah. It sounds like he's really fitting in. He loves it down there. He loves his new teammates. He's hitting foul balls that are, wrecking cars out there. So it's great. I can't wait to see him in action and hopefully in the leadoff spot. I guess he'll be one of the guys who's playing in the World Baseball Classic in March. So he'll be gone for a little while, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Not so much spring training as getting to the season and getting ready to go. And the odds makers don't seem to be as excited about the Phillies as we are. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, we love the underdog thing in Philadelphia, so that's all right.
Yes, we do.
And one sad note, we didn't get to talk about this previously because it happened last Thursday. We lost Tim McCarver. Great ball player, had a very long career, parts of 4 decades. Lefty's personal catcher for a while, and then a Phillies broadcaster in the 80s. He's a good-looking guy back in the day. So Tim McCarver, we lost last Thursday. Rest easy, Tim.
Absolutely. 4 decades he played in. 4 decades. Yep.
4 decades.
Hey, we got a comment here that I just can't pass on by. Furman doesn't want bringing up Castellanos. Well, I'm going to tell you, Big John, I told you before the football season that Jalen Hurts was going to have a monster year, and Jalen Hurts had a monster year. And I'm going to tell you right now, before the first live pitch of spring training is, Nick Castellanos is going to have a solid year. I won't say he'll have a 40 home run year. I'm going to tell you he's going to have a solid year, and he is going to be way better than what you thought and wanted to run him out of town with those other people last year. So we'll talk a lot more about Nick as we go, but Nick's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a better year. I just turned my microphone up a little bit. It somehow got knocked down a notch. So if I sound louder, it's because I just noticed it was down too low. But anyway, yeah, I think Nick's going to have a solid year. I agree. And Bill, I usually prepare pretty well for our show, but I forgot one thing today. I forgot that today was National Margarita Day, so I didn't bring any of the juice or the tequila, so I got to drink a beer instead.
I thought at some point the blender was going to fire up today.
Yeah, I wish. I was not prepared, but happy National Margarita Day, everybody.
There you go. Well, hey, Chet, Sixers are at the All-Star break. Joel Embiid is the team's only representative, by the way, but sitting 3 games out of first place in the East, 38-19, pretty good record. But, hey, the big story of the week is Mac McClung. Ever heard of him? Putting on a dunk clinic to win the slam dunk contest. He was fun to watch, and he got to meet Dr. J and get handed an award from the doctor.
Yeah, a guy most of us never heard of at all until the middle of last week when the Sixers said they were calling him up on this, 2-way contract and that he was going to be in the dunk contest. I said, what? I didn't get to watch it live. I was actually out seeing my guys in Fat Mez Saturday night, but it was on a TV at the bar that I was at, and I did catch bits and pieces of it live, and then I saw that he actually won, and I made sure that I watched all the highlights the next morning, and it was pretty cool. What a thrill for that young man, who, by the way, was the Rookie of the Year in the G League last year, and he's having a solid year again this year.
Yeah, Georgetown guy, obviously he played major college basketball, so we'll see what happens for him, and if nothing else, if that was his 15 minutes of glory, so be it. But if you're gonna go out and have some glory, do it with a bang, and he certainly did.
Yeah, he really did. So it was exciting for him, and it's going to be exciting if and when he does get in a game with the Sixers when they're back home later this week. So way to go, Mac.
He was getting tweets from Shaq and Steph Curry and Charles, all of them. Everybody tweeting him up, and cool stuff for the kid.
Yeah, whatever happens, this is something he will never ever forget. For the next 60 years.
That's right. He probably would rather get paid in the NBA, but that's a whole nother story.
Yep.
All right. Hey, you had a chance to visit with longtime Sixers reporter Dei Lynam just this afternoon. Dei obviously is all over the place, busy as she always is. So we have
a Delaware Bluecoats game tonight. That's where she is.
Yes. So what's Dei's take on Mac McClung and the Sixers heading down the stretch?
Well, we do talk about Mac. Diaz Haras himself, of course, still extremely busy, as you alluded, still squeezing in golf whenever she possibly can. And yeah, we talked all things Sixers in our conversation. And here is that chat. The 76ers are heading into the final 25 games of the regular season. Hopefully there'll be a lengthy postseason after that. Let's talk about it with a woman who's been covering this team since 1997, if you can believe that. The great Dei Lynam. Hey, Dei, welcome back.
Wow, when you say 1997, that feels long.
That was Larry Brown's first year as head coach, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, so Dei, as we speak, the Sixers are about to return from a lengthy All-Star break. Back in early December, they were 12-12. Since then, they've gone 27-6. How are you feeling about this Sixers team?
Yeah, that night that they went to 12-12 was a double overtime loss in Houston. And they played very good basketball since then, to be honest with you. I think they were just a little slow out of the gate. I think they've kind of found their identity in a way. Tyrese Maxey being hurt kind of allowed them to figure out lineups that work well together when he came back. And him playing with that second unit has helped both the starting lineup have the better defensive start, and it's helped this second unit come with some energy and momentum changing things when Doc goes to his bench. So I think the combination has helped. and good health obviously is a big part of it. Harden got healthy, Maxey got healthy, and Embiid's have been pretty strong too. So let's hope they can continue it for these final 25.
Yeah, that's always a question. Joel Embiid, 33 points a game, 10.2 rebounds. It's going to be really nice if they can have him healthy for an entire playoff run for a change. Can you make sure that happens, Dee, please?
Well, a lot of his injuries have had last year. The 2 injuries happened in the postseason.
Yeah.
So it's not as if he's limped in. Some of the ones in the past he has. And the one year that he was actually healthy was the year they were in the bubble and he didn't have his running mate at the time in Ben Simmons because he was hurt. So I think, good health is definitely going to be a big part of it. And the other part, in fairness, I mean, the competition is pretty strong in the East. So even though the Sixers have played really well since the date you cited when they were 500, so has Boston, so has Milwaukee, Cleveland. I think Brooklyn, to me, I think they're going to play hard, but they are not as scary a team with no Durant and no Kyrie. But those other teams, they're equally saying, we're doing some good things, and they hope to have a long postseason run as well.
I got to be honest, I was skeptical about how much James Harden at age 33 and a half had left in the tank, but he's been pretty impressive this year. Do you agree?
Oh, he's been great. Personally, I think he deserved to be an all-star, though.
Yeah.
He's probably grateful that he didn't have to participate in that sham, I would call it, because it's become a horrific event to watch. But his play was certainly deserving of him being there. I love his game right now. Obviously he's leading the league in assists, and he's also scoring 20 points. I said if he was 18-10, that the fan base would be happy, and he's above that right now. And I think you can see, what the dividends are is that your team is third in the East.
This year's new additions, including P.J. Tucker, DeAnthony Melton, Montrezl Harrell, Daniel House, they've been something of a mixed bag. I know Tucker was, never a big scorer, but he's been a non-factor offensively the great majority of games. There aren't many starting forwards in the league averaging just 3.4 points and 3.9 rebounds per game. Were they expecting more from him? I know he's a good defender, but were they expecting a little more from him, do you think?
But he's more than a good defender. I mean, he gets the top assignment every time. He's given Giannis trouble. He gave Tatum trouble. He gives them all trouble. So when your team is winning the way they are, and, you got to look at the big picture. I mean, I know there was a Reggie Evans back in the day, but this is what you brought this guy here for, to be able to defend those top guys and to be able to bring that also in the postseason. So I also don't think they get him the ball that much, to be honest with you. He doesn't get shot attempts. So, and he can't be blamed for that. They should probably kick it to him in the corner more than they do. He does make it if you find him there. So I think people make a lot about that, but you cited what their record has been since the 12-12, and he's part of it. So I don't see the same problem as other people.
All right. We mentioned Tyrese Maxey earlier. You mentioned him coming off the bench the last month or so. Do you like what Coach Rivers has done with doing that, putting him in the second unit?
I do, because he still gets the same minutes and he still closes out games. I think it gives your team with DeAnthony Melton in the starting lineup, it gives you a better chance to start defensively on a better note. I was not a big fan of it being Maxey and Harden. They're not going to, and you're talking about guard and perimeter guys, and a lot of these teams, they're their best players. So having a guy like Melton to be able to put him on one of the top perimeter guys, whoever the opponent is, to me is great. And then having a guy like Maxey to be the first guy you turn to he's instant offense. I mean, who doesn't love that when you turn to your bench? So I think it's worked out quite well.
How about Tobias Harris? Whenever he, has a bad game, you hear a lot of people criticizing him because he's got the big contract. What do you think about Tobias Harris this year?
I think he's adjusted pretty well. So before, let's just go back to last year, he really had to make the adjustment after they traded for Harden. But, before that, I mean, he's the guy who's like going to back down his defender. Now he has to catch and shoot. When he gets it, it's a catch and shoot guy. That's what he has to be now. I think he's done pretty well. I really don't think you could go across their top 6, maybe even 7, and you should be pretty happy with them.
Well, speaking of the bench, are you okay with how the coach has managed the rotation? Do you have faith in Glenn Doc Rivers, D?
Well, obviously, it would say to me that he's not sure what he wants to do with the backup center position.
Yeah.
Paul Reed had a chance in the beginning. Then it seemed, Montrez was going to be his guy. Then right before the break, Paul was getting some minutes again. They went and got Dedmon. So it seems to me that he's not comfortable with whatever they decide to do there. And I would hope that he has that cleared up, because obviously that was a big thing last year. He didn't play Paul Reed at all. Yeah. And once they got to the postseason, he had to play him. So, you want Embiid in the postseason to be in the high 30s minutes wise. But you also don't want, when he goes to the bench, that everything falls to the wayside. And the defensive numbers when he's on the court versus when he's not are pretty significant, which does point to how strong a defender he is and what you have in that guy. But I'd like them to have at least show that they feel confident in what they're going to do with that backup center position.
So, Dee, as I put up the NBA East standings, I think those 3 teams, the top 3, are indeed the cream of the crop. How do you see the rest of the season playing out, for the Celtics, Bucks, and 76ers? Does it matter whether you're a 1 or a 2 or a 3? We know the Sixers got bounced in the second round 2 years ago, even as a top seed.
Sure. So I do think they are, as you called it, the cream of the crop. I think you can have trouble with some of those teams below. I think those top 3 should win a 7-game series in the first round. In my opinion, I think it would be difficult to beat them in a 7-game series. I always think, look, if you use the example of what happened 2 years ago, you lose on your home floor. So, but yeah. I think by and large, I think Toronto was glad they had the Game 7 a couple of years ago when they had the quadruple doink. That would be preferred when you get in a situation like that, to be able to have the home court. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to, get it done against a pretty high quality team. And the other thing is both the Celtics and the Bucks, they've been there. The Sixers are still trying to get there. And I just look around, and experience is huge.
Yeah, and the Bucks are red hot right now. They've won 12 or 13 in a row.
Yeah, in a row.
Hey, Dee, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what happened last Saturday night before the All-Star game out in Salt Lake City. For those who didn't see, I'm talking about this young guy.
I'm worried about the guy holding the other guy. At some point, he's going to go down. Oh, that's a 50. That's a 50.
I got to see if he hit the backboard.
That's a 50.
Smile,
I got to see if he hit the. You see how everyone's standing, including us?
Oh, my God. Hey, what's up, Kenny?
And a reverse.
Hey, young fella.
And a reverse.
I have one thing to say. Welcome to the NBA. Welcome to the NBA.
Obviously, he has great hops, which also helps because it makes it look like he's so high, right? No, I said take advantage of the moment. What I will be interested in seeing is, they signed him to the 2-way deal right before the All-Star. This is just me guessing. I have no information on this, but I think they signed him to the 2-way so that he could wear the Sixers jersey. Personally, because I've worked for the Blue Coats for a long time and people in that organization work really, really hard, I was hoping he would wear a Blue Coats jersey. But for the kid to want to feel a real part of the NBA Slam Dunk Contest, I understand why wearing the Sixers jersey would be a big deal. I just hope they keep him on the 2-way through the rest of the year.
Yeah, I want to see him play a few games with the Sixers. Now, you have been watching him with the Blue Coats. We know he's averaging, 19 points a game. He averaged, I think, 21 or more last year in a different organization. How good is he? Does he have a future in the league?
Well, all right, first of all, last year he was the Rookie of the Year in the G League. Second, when he played at Georgetown for 2 years, and then he transferred to Texas Tech. When he was at Georgetown, he shot 40% from the floor. That's not good enough. He's now shooting 50% from three this year. So he's shooting 50% from three. He's also become a more selfless player, and I don't mean that in a negative way before, but when you're a guard, you got to be a guy who can distribute. If you're going to make it an NBA, team, you're going to be probably sitting at the end of the bench. So you got to be able to do things. They have their scores. They have their Embiids, Maxis, and Hardens. So you got to be able to do some little things. I think his defense has definitely gotten better as this year has gone on. And I give a little bit of credit to Kobe Carl, because he's developed some guys here. And I would say Mac definitely has a chance for sure.
Well, when he is spotted in the Wells Fargo Center by the fans, he's certainly going to get a great, ovation. We know that.
Yeah, for sure.
We have had quite an exciting few months on the Philly sports scene, with the Phillies getting into the World Series, the Eagles to the Super Bowl, both coming up short of the ultimate goal, of course. How much fun has it been doing your weekend shifts at 97.5 The Fanatic?
Yeah, it's funny because, a lot of times people say you get more interaction when people get the opportunity to complain. But I think it's actually been really good for the city, and people have enjoyed the winning ways, if you will. I thought it was a little tough leading up to the Super Bowl because you had a lot of people that were so convinced the Eagles were going to handle it with ease.
Yeah.
And even though they had a lot of statistical things that or even matchups where you thought your guy was the better at that particular position. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I just didn't think as a fan base, people were giving them enough credit. And also, if the line is -1.5, it says it's pretty evenly matched. And that's not just about the money that people are laying on it. So that was the only thing. It was difficult to navigate, hey, they're going to give you a game, people. But yeah, it's been fun.
All right, Dee. Enjoy the rest of your birthday week. Going to be a nice warm day tomorrow. You maybe sneaking a little golf.
I do have a tea time. I do in the morning.
Shocking. Dei Lynam, fun chat as always. Let's hope for a great next few months for the Sixers. Take care.
Thanks so much, Jim. Have a great one.
Thank you.
D always excellent as usual. Good stuff with the Sixers and with Mac.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hey, one thing I didn't get to talk with D about was the fact that the Sixers have a real tough schedule coming up. They, in fact, have the toughest schedule in the NBA over the rest of the season. As you can see, winning percentage 541 for their remaining opponents. They got their next two games are against the Grizzlies, who are very good, and the Celtics, who always seem to give the Sixers fits. And then in March, 12 of their 17 games are on the road. So it's not going to be easy for the Sixers. So they got to get whatever wins they can if they want to, hold on to third place or, move up in those standings.
Yeah, and I believe there's 2 with Boston and 2 with Milwaukee still to play, right?
Yeah, I think so. So it's going to be tough next 5 weeks.
Well, and they do need to hold on to that third spot. If they can't move up, the Bucks can't win all their games. Sooner or later, they're gonna lose a few. But Sixers need to be staying right there on that doorstep and sneak up if they can. And the higher they get, the better they are, I think.
Gonna be interesting.
All right. One final comment. I said this to you last week. I'll ask it to you again. You ready to play them out here, or you start resting them?
I would give them occasional rest, Bill. I know you're not a huge fan of that, but
I'm a little more of a fan at this stage of the season, though.
Okay, yeah. I would rest Embiid occasionally. I would rest Harden occasionally. Embiid's got injury issues, as we know. Harden's getting up there in age, so yeah, I would give them an occasional day off and get everybody as close to 100% as possible come May.
Yeah. Hey, did you watch the NBA All-Star debacle?
The sham, as D called it. I watched about a quarter and a half. I really wanted to see what happened ahead of time, which was the drafting of the players. That was kind of cool, the playground style drafting. I'll take you, I'll take him. That was fun, and then I liked the introductions. And I watched, like I said, about a quarter and a half. But yeah, it's a waste.
Yeah,
no defense.
I'm waiting for them to rename the league the LeBron James League. There was so much love for LeBron. It was kind of crazy to watch. But hey, that's what I guess they think sells, and that's what this is all about. That's for sure.
Don't tell anybody, but yeah, after a quarter and a half, I switched over to American Idol, making its season premiere.
I can't blame you. All right. Hey, winter is here, along with some cold weather coming this weekend. You're going to be staying home, spending more time on your couch than you are in your car. It's time for you to start saving with Allstate's pay-as-you-go auto insurance.
Yeah, Bill, Allstate's pay-as-you-go auto insurance puts you in control. You only pay for the miles you drive with the same full coverage that a traditional policy offers. Pay-per-mile insurance gives customers greater control of their insurance costs. See how much you can save with pay-per-mile car insurance by calling your local agent in Westchester, Pennsylvania. That is Dave Lavoie. Call Dave at 610-430-0700. Once again, 610-430-0700, and start to save more now that you are driving less.
That's right. Hey, Chet, I wanted to jump back. We can't get off this football thing quite yet. Season's ended. Both coordinators are gone. Coaches hiring / promotions are being made. Penalty calls to the fans, throwing ex-players' names in the ring for coaching positions. Dawkins, Joyner. We said we were putting this 2023 season behind us, but seems we just can't do it.
Yeah, we can. And you mentioned former players. A lot of people would love to see Seth Joyner be named defensive coordinator of the Eagles.
That's a joke, you know.
It's a joke?
Yeah, that's a joke.
How so?
Well, you should actually have to be a coach before you become a coach.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. But I mean, the people are serious about it, and Seth is serious that he would like to be considered for it. But yeah, it's not going to happen, certainly.
No.
So
might want to pay your dues. Just because you're a good player does not make you a good coach.
Yeah, and I don't think he's the kind of guy the Eagles want, because he's a little too vocal, and I think they want a little more control of their coaching staff, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, lots of talk by Birds fans. As I said at the top, I'm done scrutinizing the agonizing loss. It happened. It's behind us. We move on. Now we got to think about, who the new coordinators are going to be, make decisions about who you're going to try to re-sign, who you're going to let walk, Miles Sanders, et cetera, et cetera. Jalen Hurts is going to have to get paid. You got to figure out that contract and who you might be able to, keep as free agents, who you're going to go after with your remaining money when the free agent signing period opens up. So lots of decisions to make. Stop looking back at what happened February 12th.
Well, I have interesting comment. John Clark tweeted today, "I love Philly. Just bring me back. I hope they bring me back. Miles Sanders is a free agent."
Yeah. I saw somebody asked him what he would say to Howie, and Miles said, "Tell Howie I love him and I hope he wants me back." So,
right. Well,
yeah,
we'll see. Hey, one last comment, and maybe our Chiefs fan is still on here. He's been putting a bunch of comments up there. The MVP of the Super Bowl, Chet. Why does it have to be the winning quarterback when the best player on the field happened to be the losing quarterback?
It doesn't have to be, and it's happened, a couple of times that a losing player got a Chuck Howley, 40 years ago. Was there another one?
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 in the history. Yeah. The best player on that field on that day was Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I agree. It gets into the whole question of, what does most valuable mean? And can you really be that valuable if your team doesn't win? It's like when, Mike Schmidt won the MVP and the Phillies stunk. So it depends how you want to view most valuable. If you're talking about the best player on the field, yeah, it was definitely Jalen Hurts on February 12th.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of a bummer, I think. I mean, you can't play any better than Hurts did. His team just didn't end up with as many points as the other team. He was the best player on the field.
Yeah, I hear you. No argument.
All right. Hey, let's move on. Let's give a shout out to all the shows at the Edge of Philly Sports Network this week. Football season has ended, but hasn't slowed down the coverage. You can catch it all on www.eopsports.com, as well as Edge of Philly Sports on YouTube. You can find our show, Philly Press Box Radio, YouTube channel as well. Don't be shy about hitting that subscribe, follow, and like button. And as always, share with your friends.
We didn't have a new EOP graphic to put up. Big Al was under the weather the last few days. He says he's feeling better now. So, it's the same lineup pretty much every week. So, yeah, follow us especially, and the rest of the shows too, edgeofphillysports.com. And if you can, get to the Irish Rover tomorrow night, Bill.
Yeah, tell us what's going on. Well, never mind. I'm just going to leave it with you. Go.
Yeah, I had a great chat with Chris earlier, and she's going to tell us all about not only the event Thursday night, but a little history about the Irish Rover. As everybody who enjoys Philly Press Box Radio knows, our longest-running sponsor is the Irish Rover Station House, and they're in a bit of a celebratory mood this week. Let's talk about it with this young lady from the Irish Rover Station House, Christina Gaskill. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chet. Thanks for having me.
Chris, before we get to the specifics about Thursday's celebration, let's talk a little history. I mentioned previously that when I moved to the area back in 1984, the first bar my radio station boss took me to was the old Irish Rover on Business Route 1 in Pendle. Now, you're just a kid, of course, compared to me, but what do you know about the original Rover? Didn't that one open in the mid-'70s?
Yes, it's been the Rover since like 79, somewhere around there. There was maybe 2 or 3 previous owners before us. Tracy, the owner currently at the Rover, and her husband bought the place in 97. I was not old enough to be in at the moment. Fast forward a couple years later, I came to work for Tracy with, office work, and then slowly but surely I've learned everything else.
What did happen to the business those initial, 16 years or so? Did the business outgrow that location?
Yeah, so originally it was just Tracy and her husband, George, in Pendle. And then, we were, it was a biker bar, if you can imagine that, back in the day when Tracy bought it. And, she turned this small little divey place into something really special. And, fast forward to 2012, we were busy every night and running out of room and space. And this opportunity came up with Tracy's husband's cousin, Ray, about maybe a partnership and relocating, and the idea seemed insane at the time, but all in all, it was fantastic. It was a wild couple years getting us started because, we just thought like, we'll just hop over there and it'll just be, like it is. And we had a huge learning curve, but it's been great.
Yeah, so this new location, it was kind of a mashup of 2 different businesses, and you can see it's a much bigger place, much fancier. What was the other business that it merged with?
So historically before that, it had been Kazmiri's forever, and then it was Joseph's Garden Grill, and then we bought it from Kellen's. So it was Kellen's Station House. And at that point, they turned it into a sports bar, but kind of left a lot of the old motif from Joseph's. But the biggest thing was there was only 10 seats at the bar. So when we went in to look at it, I remember thinking like, oh my God, 10 seats, like we got 50 now. Like, what are we going to do? So we closed our doors and we pulled out the bar and put the bar that's there now, which is humongous, and prayed that we got it open in time. And somehow with like no sleep and a lot of help from friends, we did it. And it's probably one of like, I don't know, my favorite memories is like that week, the chaos that ensued and opening night, and there's so many things, but I'll save those stories for Thursday when I see you and anyone else that wants to hear. But there's a lot of good stories in there.
Yeah, I think my cousin Art was actually one of the carpenters and architects involved in that whole remodeling, which is kind of cool.
Great. He actually designed the layout of the bar, which is fantastic. Yeah. And I don't know, it's amazing. All the people that just pitched in to help to make it happen for us.
Okay, so it's 10 years since the move to the nice, big, beautiful spot that we now know as the Irish Rover Station House, and it does call for a celebration. So what is happening tomorrow, Thursday?
So Thursday night, we're just inviting, all of our friends and family out to join us. We're going to do our happy hour is going to be extended till 8 o'clock for beers and food, and we've got a ton of stuff to give away. I've got this great spin the wheel. You can win some prizes. We're just looking to celebrate with everyone who made it happen. This place has been really unique, I think, as far as restaurants go. I love hearing everybody's stories about like what brought them to the Rover first and why they stayed. I mean, our customers are like family to me. I can't imagine, going through every day without them. So we just wanted to be able to give back and celebrate and say thank you to everybody who, let us do this for so long.
Hey, the other day on Facebook, you guys asked your customers, what's everyone's favorite thing to order at the Rover? For me, it's the sweet and spicy wings. What are the most popular food items there?
Well, wings definitely, but I think you're outvoted with the sweet and spicy. It's generally the gourmet or the garlic romano, but I'm partial to sweet and spicy. It makes you feel any better, Chet. The filet sandwich, our Reuben, the prime rib dinner on Wednesday, people are loving. Got a lot of comments about that, which was great. There's a lot on the menu, but those are the top ones, I think. Definitely in the top 5. Emerald chips, too.
Well, Chris, happy 10th anniversary, happy 26th anniversary, and here's to many more wonderful years in business. And as always, thanks for the support that you guys have given Philly Press Box Radio over the last several years. Hope we can get back there for a 4th time for a live on remote show there this summer.
Can't wait. You guys are so much fun to work with. We love having you live.
All right. It's the Irish Rover Station House on Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne, and find them on the web, irishroverstationhouse.com.
And we love being there. It's always been a lot of fun going up there.
Yeah, we were there for our 400th last summer. We're up to 431 now, so maybe we could do 450 this summer and 500 next year.
There you go. Sounds good. Hey, Chet, one thing I wanted to bring up, we kind of went on past the Phillies real quick. They came to agreement with the broadcasters, so it looks like the team announcers are set for this year. Tom McCarthy and Scott Fransky, as you can see, multi-year contract extensions. Kevin Stocker will be the radio guy along with Larry Anderson. Greg Murphy will be there. Of course, John Kruk will be there on the TV side as well. So good team.
Yeah, Crucky was already under contract, but these other guys got extensions, well-deserved. And, I was thinking, Fransky is one of those guys, along with L.A., that you'd never hear anybody criticize. Same with Ray Didinger. Now, T-Mac gets criticized. I don't know why. I think T-Mac does a great job. But Fransky and L.A., there is nobody who dislikes them that I know of. Same with Ray Diddy. They're just like universally loved. So
yeah, well, and it's going to be funny because the bedlam at the bank is never going to go away. For Scott, that's going to carry around with him. It won't be maybe like Do You Believe in Miracles 43 years ago today, by the way. But bedlam at the bank is not going away in Philly lore for sure.
And I'm sure Scott Fransky made millions of dollars off of that one phrase.
No, Al Michaels did.
Yeah, Al Michaels did okay.
And Kevin Stocker, we had him on the show, and Kevin was great on the show. He's a great speaker. He does a good job broadcasting, and he'll be a great addition, a full-time addition to that. I guess you'd call it full-time to that team. Yeah. Now, are they still doing Sundays with Schmidt and all that? Is that happening? I haven't seen it. As far as I know,
I haven't heard anything to the contrary, so I assume they will be. As long as Schmidt's in good health. I know he had a couple of issues over the last few years, but he's okay as far as we know. So, yeah, that's a nice little thing to mix it up on weekends.
Yep. And one other thing, backing up to the Eagles, we said we weren't going here. We're going here anyway. What about the tush push? Looks like they're wanting to ban that. Here's what I say, Chet. If the Eagles are so good at it that it needs to be banned, maybe they need to ban Patrick Mahomes from throwing the forward pass. All of his passes should be behind the line of scrimmage because he's good at it.
All right. Now, see, this is one thing I'm going to disagree with you on. If you're serious, I don't know. I mean, not about that part, but about the tush push, it doesn't really seem like football to me. It seems more like a rugby thing. And I would actually, even though it would hurt the Eagles, I'd be okay if they did ban the tush push. It just doesn't seem right.
You got to stop it.
I'm serious. I am dead serious.
Next thing you're going to tell me you're happy that they're banning the shift. Come on, man.
I am happy that they're banning the shift.
Oh, jeez. Well, we got plenty to talk about next week because we don't have enough time tonight because
we're going to have lots of baseball.
We know who's in left field for the Phillies this year. It would be you.
We will be polling all of our Phillies broadcasters and writers how they feel about the rules changes, about the shift, the pitch clock. We'll get their take on all of that.
Well, you know what's really funny for me that you feel that way about the tush push is you're basically telling the other team what you're going to do, and you're putting your man against their man, and you're kicking their butt. It's not a trick play. We're lining up, and we are telling you what we're going to do, and you aren't good enough to stop it. So we're going to ban it. Stop that nonsense.
Sorry, but I just don't think it's good football. And I'm okay if they do ban it. So we can disagree, Bill.
We will disagree forever and a day.
Yeah. What's
All
next?
right. What's next? Let's talk about Philly sports trips and Sherry's Ticket Town. And I wanted to ask you, along with Sherry's, there's a new concert I just saw today coming out, Worldwide North America Tour of Pink. Are you in on that?
I already got my tickets. Yeah, this is it was a two-parter thing. They actually announced some of the stadium shows about a month ago, and I will be seeing Pink in September at Citizens Bank Ballpark. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, now there's another leg of that tour. But yeah, I'm going to see Pink. Guns N' Roses just announced another world tour. I saw them 2 years ago, so I'm going to pass on them this time. But and our pal Willie Nile is doing more shows, so I may have to go see Willie Nile in either May or June. He's doing a double bill with Graham Parker, another guy that I like. And then Willie Nile is also celebrating his 75th anniversary. I was there for his 70th 5 years ago. Now he's doing a 75th birthday concert, not anniversary, 75th birthday concert over in Asbury Park. That's in June, and I'll probably be there.
All right. I have a question. How does Pink do all the aerobic or whatever stuff when there's no roof?
We're going to find out because she said she is doing it. I saw her on one of the talk shows the other day. She said, yeah, there will be all the theatrics again and the high-flying trapeze acts and everything. I think she's a little crazy, but she's great.
She's a good entertainer.
She really is.
Yeah. I mean, for somebody that really likes concerts like you do, I'm sure it's good. I like her music, but I'm not sure I'm paying how much. Never mind.
I don't know. It was over 100 a piece. I know. I think it's about 150 a piece. She's worth it. But you can get tickets at Sherry's Ticket Town. Notice my segue right there.
There you go.
Sherry's Ticket Town has tickets available for you for all sporting events, the Sixers and Flyers included, and concerts here in the Philly area and elsewhere. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use. No hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. And be sure you use that exclusive promo code EOP10. Don't pay hidden fees. Save 10%. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great hard-to-get theater and concert tickets. Remember to use that promo code EOP10, the website, Sherry'sTickets.com. Now, if you want to go to see your Phillies or the Union, well, Phillies Sports Trips has you covered there. Look at some of these trips they have coming up in April, May, and June. The two spring training trips in March are already sold out, so we're not even going to advertise them anymore. But there's a Phillies trip to Yankee Stadium in April. You can go to the NFL Draft in Kansas City in April. You can go see the Union play in Denver. You can go see the Union across the pond, London and Leeds. You can see the Phillies in Denver. I think that's the same trip as the Union. The ultimate Chicago trip, the Phillies at Wrigley Field. Get all the details. These people are awesome. PhilliesSportsTrips.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Chet, just a couple comments for you. Here we go. We got tell them. We got exactly. We got shouldn't ban it. Come on, man. Get with the program.
Hey, speak of my opinion, Bill.
That's all right. We don't have to like it. Hey, yeah. I do have one for you that you didn't mention, and this was not in the paper. I didn't see it, but the passing of the late Conrad Dobler, voted the dirtiest player in the NFL for many, many straight years back in the day, passed away, I guess, over the weekend. And thanks to Joe Bonder for letting me know that. I didn't see it either. Very little fanfare for Conrad Dobler. Dirty player, they always said, but pretty darn good player, too. Played next to Dan Deerdorf back in the day, and Deerdorf ended up in the Hall of Fame. So rest in peace to Conrad Dobler.
Absolutely.
Hey, all right, Chad, as always, Dei Lynam, great guest again tonight. Who's coming to Philly Press Box Radio next week?
Well, the Phillies are playing some actual ball games starting this weekend, spring training games, albeit. So it's going to be time for us to get a lot of great baseball guests on our show over the next few weeks. And we will have one for sure next Wednesday. I'm just not sure exactly who it's going to be yet. Still working on that. But I can tell you we will have a second guest next week, Bill. And I am very excited about this because, as you know, I go to those super cool Monster Mania cons a couple of times every year. And I've been trying to get this guy on literally for 2.5 years since they did a summer show during the pandemic. They did an outdoor show. That's when I first asked him. And I've just badgered this guy for the last 2.5 years. His name is Dave Hagan. He's a Philly native. And after me badgering him, as I said, for these past 2.5 years, I have finally convinced him to do the show here. The founder and head man at monstermania.com, the great Dave Hagan. It's actually monstermania.net if you want to check their website. They have shows coming up in March and in April, and then 3 more later this year. I can't wait for this one, Bill, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I hope this is going to be live.
No, it'll be pre-taped.
Dang. Okay. I want to talk to him. I got it. I got stuff now. I got to talk to him.
I know.
we'll have to figure out how to work that in where it's on a time when I can do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Dave's
Hey,
awesome.
Flyers. We got to talk Flyers just a minute. Their Western Canada trip, and it is not going well. They've lost 5 of the last 6. These final 23 games can't go fast enough, Chet. Much work to be done. They need goal scorers bad.
I actually had the game on last night. They played pretty well against a very good Edmonton team for, 2.5 periods. They led 2-1, but then had a few breakdowns in the latter part of the game and a crucial penalty along the way. Just couldn't hold down Connor McDavid and company any longer.
He's really good.
Yeah, I mentioned this last week. They lose a lot of close games like this, and that's why they are where they are, still, 8 points or whatever out of a wild card spot, which it's probably better that they don't get in, to be honest. Trade deadline next Friday, March 3rd. Travis Konechny hurt. I don't know if you got an update on him, how serious it is, but losing
day-to-day upper body is the last thing that I saw.
Upper body injury.
Well, and did you see the check where he got hurt? He didn't get hit into the boards. It was kind of like he got hit hard, kind of between the shoulder blades, and he went to the ice. He didn't hit anything. When I looked at it, I thought, well, doesn't look like it should really be that serious of an injury, but maybe it is.
So who's going to be gone come March 3rd?
Well, I think JVR is long overdue to be gone if anybody wants him.
Surprised he didn't go last year.
Right. I think Kevin Hayes is probably going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know. I think they're going to keep as many of these young guys on board as they can. I don't know how they get rid of some of these contracts that for injuries and so forth. I don't know if they can cut these guys loose or not. And I think one that might be interesting that could actually bring something to them, and there's been some talk about him being moved, is Ivan Provorov. I'm not sure where that's going to go.
Interesting. And what about, not as far as trade bait, but Sam Ersson? We got a couple of guys in Edge of Philly who just love Sam. All he does is win, Bill. What is he, 6-0 now?
Yeah, well, that's what they say, and we'll see how it goes. They play well with him in the nets, but you probably need to see a little bit more of him against some of the tougher competition than what he's been seeing so far. He's kind of been the rotating guy on rest night, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So, hey, by the way, one other thing, in hockey, that Claude Giroux, Chet, I've been kind of keeping an eye on him. Like 53 games, I believe it is, 50 points. He's almost at a point a game here going down the stretch, and with a chance, if he stays playing the way he is, he's going to hit his 1,000th point in his career this year. Nice career for Giroux, and keep going. His team's not making the playoffs either.
I got to be honest, I have not been keeping tabs on Claude, so good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, let's take another quick break and thank our friends at the PPCC 118 Raz Room. They post great sports memorabilia on their Facebook page so people can take a chance of winning something they may not be able to afford or have access to. All items come with certificates of authenticity. They continue to run out great autographed memorabilia from all the Philly teams and more. Check out their Facebook page, like it or follow it. It's PPCC 118 Raz Room. That's right, PPCC 118 Raz Room on Facebook. And Chet, I can tell you right now, there is a Jason Kelsey and a Jalen Hurts jersey up for Raz as we speak.
Very nice.
All right.
Go get them, Razzers. Hey, 2 years ago when we had Boop on occasionally, he gave me a bunch of envelopes with little like trivia questions, whatever. I'm going to open one out because I still have two left that
You
I
still
never
have
opened.
them. Okay.
So let's see if you and I can solve this. Okay. On December 7th, 1980, it was back when you were in your prime, Bill.
Yeah.
Harold Carmichael became the Eagles' career receptions leader with 453. Whose record did he break? Now, before you answer, and I don't know the answer, let me think about this. So before Harold Carmichael had the record, I have a guess, but I have no idea. What's your guess?
Well, my first thought is Tommy McDonald. My second guess is Ben Hawkins.
I would say McDonald over Hawkins, but I forgot about McDonald right away, to be honest. So I was going to guess Pete Retzlaff, but I don't know if he had that.
Yeah, good one. Yep.
The answer is, according to Boop, the record broken by Harold Carmichael in 1980 was Pete Retzlaff.
There you go. Very good.
It's there, trust me.
I actually forgot about him. Forgot about Retzlaff. Very good.
I've still got it, Bill. I've still got it.
There you go. I like that stuff. We can put one of them out there every week if we had 2 more extra minutes.
We're actually going to have Boop on very soon, and I'll tell you why, Bill. Well, 2 reasons. We got March Madness coming up, and it will be the 5th anniversary of Boop's first visit to our program in March. So Boop will make a return appearance because all the fans love Boop anyway.
And we need to have Boop back for the end of year. Just thank you for joining us all season. Toast that we when Boop kind of went away there, and we didn't get the chance to close out the football season with him, and it was great having him
that'll be nice
with us, and it was a lot of fun.
And don't forget, Phillies spring training games begin this weekend. That's going to be cool. And a lot of games pretty much every day down there, sometimes 2 a day because of split squads. So tune in to either the radio or the occasional games that are on NBC Sports Philly and catch a little Phillies baseball action this spring, although don't look for Bryce Harper.
Now, leave that up there because what weekend are you here in Florida? Whoop. He went away. He cut out on me. Oh, cut back in there, pal. Nope, you're not on. I can see him, but nobody else can. I don't know what he did. He got
the show was going so well until I just disconnected myself.
There you go. Put that schedule back up. I want to know what weekend it is you're here and what games are you going to?
If all goes well, I'm working on tickets. I have people down there, Bill. I'm working on tickets for the 17th and 19th. I know the 17th is St. Patrick's Day, and they're going to be extremely difficult to get, but hopefully my friends in high places will help me out.
They're actually playing a split squad on St. Patrick's Day. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I know.
Well, if you were here on Thursday and they're playing Detroit right here in Lakeland, I know somebody that could hook you up.
I'll have to see what time I arrive.
I know people too.
I will see what time I'll be arriving, and maybe we could meet up.
See if we can make that happen. All right. Anything else before we wrap this thing up? You need to disconnect again or anything?
No, I think we're good. It was such a good show until I disconnected myself. Oh, well.
All right. That's it?
There's still time, everybody, to go out and celebrate National Margarita Day, so keep that in mind. Wrap it up, Bill.
All right. Let's thank tonight's special guest, Dei Lynam, our sponsors, the Irish Rover Station House, Bob Sullivan's LikeYourAge.com, PPCC, 118 Raz Room, and Dave Lavoie of Allstate Insurance in Westchester, PA. For Jim Chet Chesko, this is Bill Furman. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll join Philly Press Box Radio next Wednesday. Chet, it will be March the 1st next Wednesday already. Holy cow, at 7 p.m. You can see us live on Facebook. Listen to our website, phillypressboxradio.com, on blogtalkradio.com/Philly Press Box Radio, on Google Podcasts, as well as Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the others. High hopes, Philadelphia sports fans.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.